Hey, I love this song. This is one of the happiest, peppiest, snappiest, jeppiest tunes on the internet. I hear that's what they're calling it these days, this vast network of computers that is connected through TCP/IPs and HTMLs and JSs and PHPs, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just the beginning. Don't even get me into Java and... No, seriously, don't, because I'll just fade on you. Back in the day, Java. It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle Show. My uke is so out of tune, I can't play along with my very own theme song. That's okay, we'll suffer through. All right. Well, that's about the part where you clap. And that's where I usually say how loud you are, but I've learned over repeated listenings of this podcast that, well, you can't hear me anyway. So here we are. It is, as I record this, it is a drop-dead gorgeous day. Which, there's a term. Drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead. Is it really just as simple as if something is drop dead whatever, it's so much of that thing that your heart can't handle it and you like literally have a heart attack and drop dead. From time to time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have any other way to say this. Even though this is a professional broadcast. Is it professional? Yes, it is. And even though you're downloading this on iTunes, where, of course, everything you get is of the highest quality and, family-friendly. From time to time, I might burp, basically, because I've got my Reed's Extra Ginger Brew, all-natural Jamaican-style ginger beer, and it just makes me burp. There's no two ways about it. Somebody said that first. Somebody said, you know what, I think there may be two ways about it. And then somebody immediately jumped in and said, hey, whoa. There's no two ways about it. And then it's probably, I guess somebody heard them say that. And then was nudged the person next to them and they said, did you just say that there's no two ways about it or that or whatever, no two ways about it? And then they had a discussion. Then somebody said, hey, what are you guys talking about? And then they said, well, we just heard John or whatever his name was say there's no two ways about it, and we were just trying to figure out what that meant. Well, this went into like this big committee thing, and then it was all people were talking about. And that's how rumors get started, ladies and gentlemen. That's how things start. It all starts with some guy who says something, and then somebody else overhears it. It's basically just gossip. Our world is built on gossip. You know what gossip is? You know what I heard gossip was? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I was walking around here minding my own business because who else's business am I going to mind, right? And I heard this strange sound outside. Now, spoiler alert, the sound was just the wind because we're having this very strange wind. Today, very windy, and we have all these boats outside. I'd show you, but this is an audio podcast, so sorry. Is this loud enough? Can I pop this up even a little more without it? Oh boy, don't tell me it was all quiet again. I said don't tell me. Somebody told me. I can just tell in your mind. You're like, it's quiet again. So frustrating. You know what I need to do? I need to mark the knob on this mic, so I know exactly where to put it every single time. Anyway, I'm hearing this strange sound. As I'm walking outside to investigate what this strange sound might have been, I'm thinking, well, what if over the horizon I saw some sort of huge, like, clearly alien, metallic sort of machinery that was basically chomping through the land and I had literally seconds to live, at least life as I know it. And then I immediately was like, well, if this thing comes down like past me and I don't get crushed in it, what's the process once we get inside this machine? Is everything just ground up, or are cities built? What's happening? You know, these are all, I think these are the same questions that you would have. So as I'm thinking about the alien machine eating California, I guess I was thinking about somehow the fact that we're called Planet Earth popped into my head. Maybe I was running the news scenarios of, well, it happened on Earth today. But then I was thinking, or something got me thinking, well, what if we're not called Earth? You know, we call ourselves Earth, right? Of course we do. So one theory is we call ourselves Earth. Literally everyone else in the universe calls us something completely different. And, oh, by the way, are in and have been in agreement with the name of what we are for longer than we can conceive of. And haven't bothered to tell us because why would we? Why would they? We are so ridiculously inferior in every way. Haven't gotten anything figured out yet. We're still killing each other. Hello. Why do we need to contact these people? They're clearly not going to be part of the solution. So we'll just let them call themselves Earth if that's what they want. So then what would we be called? Because I think what I was thinking, because, you know, now scientists have found these 7 Earth-like planets orbiting a star that starts with a T, which I cannot remember right offhand. Sorry, it's new news. I didn't dig deep. So on a multiple choice test, I could pass. I know I say it every single time, but ginger beer just makes my mouth sing. So I wanted to, but what if I don't know, the day comes where, all right, this nonsense of, are you there? Do you exist? Yes, of course. Just like the whole alien thing. It's like, okay, yes, of course, there are others besides you, and now we've decided to talk to you. And by the way, your planet isn't called Earth, you know. It's called Starbelly. Okay, it's been called Starbelly forever. And that's what everybody else is calling it. So now we, as quote-unquote Earthlings, actually Starbellians, are we going to change what we call ourselves? Are we going to be stubborn and go, no, you know what? We've been Earth for 1 million years, or at least since we've been calling it that, so we're just going to stick with Earth. Thank you very much, the rest of the universe, which is clearly more intelligent than us, and I'm making a fool out of myself talking back to them as if we know better because of our little human egos. Oh no, we've been calling it Earth this whole time. We're going to call it that. It would be too confusing. No, what's confusing is everybody in the universe agreeing what you're called except for you because you're just being silly and stubborn. No, we thought of Earth. We have to keep it that. And then that's probably why they don't want to deal with us, because of that kind of mentality. We're not going to go, Now, that's version 1. Of course, the second version is they're already have been for the longest time cycling in and amongst us. And, whatever their agenda is, there's people who clearly know, and we may never know. Do we need to? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? What aren't they telling us? What are those aliens doing here? What are they doing here? They have politics on other planets. I mean, really, did every species evolve like humans and have to, come down and have committees and talk and secret societies? That seems very human to me, right? I mean, are beings that are intelligent enough to get here from other dimensions, planets, whatever systems, are they really? Did they get that way by doing what we're doing? I don't know. Maybe there's other. Maybe then that there are other they're close enough to intelligence of us that they think similarly. I mean, who's to say they're not that? Let's just say they just got it figured out, the travel part. Maybe something more intelligent brought these people who have actually come and hung out with us, brought them the travel technology, but they're not actually smart enough to have created it. They're actually around our intelligence. Maybe they've got a little bit more knowledge in this area, and we've got a little bit more knowledge in this area, and somebody figured, let's put them together and see what's going on. Let's see what they come up with. Look, guys, it's all a simulation anyway, right? We've discussed this. But see, that would make sense. You know, it just plays out like a big video game. Let's put this society over here. Let's see what would happen over here. They're running a simulation. Let's see what happens if we now tell this planet that there are 7 planets just like it over here, 14 million or 40 million or whatever, however many light years away it is. 4 light years? Maybe it's got to be 4. They can't see 40 million light years away, can they? I don't think so. Maybe they can. And if they did, and they didn't want us to know, would I know? No, I just have a theory. Just like this so-called theory about the aliens and us being called Earth or Starbelly. So I made ribs yesterday. Is that important to anyone? So I am in the midst of a 30-day broadcast ukulele playing challenge that is it's really part of my coaching and facilitating a law of attraction related group for 30 days. And I got the inspiration to do this for myself, but then invite others to do it as well. And in my case, it's like every day I got to go live on Facebook and I got to play some ukulele and sing. I haven't really said I have to sing, but kind of in my mind, that's what I'm trying to get past. But here's the conundrum that I'm dealing with now. The desire's there, my friend, but ever since I got back from the cruise, I'm about to enter into big time story zone, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't want any cards and letters going, nice story, Bob. Are you committed to that story? Sounds like you're pretty much committed to that story because, as you're about to find out, you say it happens every year, and you probably say that, don't you? To which the answer would be yes. But about once a year at the beginning of the year, February, March, I tend to get some kind of a cold. And then the cold part goes away after a few weeks, but this cough lingers, sometimes for months. And it doesn't affect me too much unless I'm really pushing it with voiceover or if I'm trying to sing in a higher register. And if I do, I will generally start to cough. And so I've been just kind of sitting around going, what do I want to play today, day 6? This will be. Day 6 it will be. And as I sit there and rehearse them, I go to the high notes and it hurts, and then I cough. I'm not going to let that stop me if I have to cough. Like, I want to cough right now. And I did, because it's my show, and if I want to do something like cough, well, guess what I'm going to do? Something like, if you said cough, you'd be correct. Just popped over to the chat window just to see. Nah, nobody there. But here's what I want to say about this podcast, if I may. You know what I always complain? Not complain. What do I do? But I do make note of the fact that, well, my perception that nobody's listening to this audio podcast except maybe Dawn and Belinda. And then other than that, I'm doing it for my own health. That's kind of what I had been assuming this whole time. So it turns out, though, ladies and gentlemen, I owe some of you an apology. I do. Because, as it turns out, you've been listening. You've been downloading. I never thought to check the stats. Now, I know I listen to this thing at least once after I do it. Sometimes immediately after, sometimes later that night, to bore me to sleep. So I can account for 1 or 2 plays. But no, I don't download it. And I look back at some of these episodes. Now, guys, I'm not talking about thousands, but it could be one day if we all work together. What if I issued this challenge to you? What if you, listening to this, just shared this podcast with whomever, post it on your timeline, tweet about it. I don't know how you're listening to this. I don't know if you download it onto iTunes. I don't know if you listen to it from the Spreaker page, which would make it very easy to share it to Facebook or whatever. But it'd just be fun to see if you do it. Come on. It takes 2 seconds. Doesn't cost you anything. But here's the dealio. Remember that ukulele playing challenge I mentioned? I hope so, because it was just like 2 minutes ago. If you have already forgotten, you need to get your brain fixed. The ukulele challenge. What about it? What was I going to say about that? It really annoys me. Luckily, I have ginger beer, which is just like brain medicine. Now, here I was just giving you grief for forgetting, and then I forgot what I was going to say about it anyway. I know the uke challenge, but boy, oh well. Who knows? Oh, great. Somebody got a picture of that? Of me forgetting? That is just a god-awful sound effect. Boy, I sure wish I could remember what I was going to say. So I've shared this before, and this is, I just have to. Oh no, I remember now. It was something about the plays. I was talking about the downloads. Yes. So I just wanted to acknowledge you, the listener, who I was not acknowledging existed, and urge you to share. Oh, now I remember. See, it all came around. Ukulele challenge. I have part of this challenge is that by the 30th day or on the 30th day, if it happens before, that's great. But by or on the 30th day, that when I do that, when I go live and I do my little uke songs, that I have 100 people. Now, right now when I do it, I don't announce that I'm doing it. I just go live. I get maybe 5 or 6 people. And they hang with me because they're good people. Better than you. Unless you're one of those people or didn't, know about it. Now you do. So you'll go and watch it. How do you find those things? You got to go to my timeline, my Facebook timeline at The Bob Doyle Show. Facebook.com/Bob Doyle Show. That's Facebook.com/Bob Doyle Show. I'm going to be so sad in about 4 swallows of ginger beer from now because this one will be empty. Now, I do have 3 more in the refrigerator, and there are more available in stores near you and me. So sadness seems inappropriate. But if you don't feel like, doing what you need to do to get it doesn't matter. I've got 3. It'll last me the day, okay? Just everybody, let's just take a breather. So one of the things that is the most annoying thing ever to me, and one of the reasons I love Bluetooth headsets for use with my iDevices, especially when I'm washing dishes and taking Cody for a walk. Bluetooth headsets, folks, if you aren't on board with that yet, I feel like I'm late to the game. But if you are not yet, if you're still using wired headsets like I'm doing right now for unknown reasons. No, actually, I do have a reason. But for your general everyday listening use, because I'm using it for a specialized reason, because I'm broadcasting a professional podcast, I have to wear headphones, okay, for my own private, personal reasons. But most of you, washing dishes, etc. So how many times have you gotten that freaking cord caught on something and ripped those things out of your ears? And how angry does it make you? look, if you're anything like me, it sends you into instant rage. Like, it's like my blood pressure goes through the roof in that instance. When I feel those things being ripped out of my head, I am so angry. I think maybe it's because I assume, oh, what if I broke them and then I got to get new ones or whatever. Yeah, I say get. All right. So a couple of days ago, I couldn't find my Bluetooth headset because I had left it in the car. Now, I figured out that's where it was, but I wasn't in the car. And I wanted to walk Cody and listen to the Paul F. Tompkins Spontaneous Nation podcast, which I am wont to do. So I got my old corded headset, and as I leaned down to put Cody's harness on, my knee, of course, gets caught in the cable and rips the headset out of my head. And what's worse is one of the little, the rubber earpiece on one side flew off. You know what I'm talking about. Those little rubber things that are interchangeable, and they send you extra ones when you buy them. And you go, what are these for? When am I going to use them? Well, I use them a lot. But anyway, I shouldn't say a lot, but I do use them occasionally. And I sure could use them now, and I can't find them. Anyway, luckily I was able to find that rubber earpiece thing and stick it back on there. And the walk went exactly as planned. He urinated and perhaps pooped. So you can all rest easy knowing that. Wow. Someone is sending me a voice message. A lot of voice messages on the Facebook, the Book of Faces. Anyway, so last night I'm taking Cody out again, and part of that journey is going to go to the car to get that Bluetooth headset. And again, I lean down and my knee again hits the cord, and again they fly out, and again the rubber tip goes flying off, except this time I can't find it. It's nowhere. It disintegrated. When it flew out of my ear, it went so fast that it literally disintegrated into just particles. So they're floating around this room right now like Mike TV from Willy Wonka. But that does me no good. I can't use them in that form. So I'm staring at them right now, and I'm irritated just even looking at them because I see them and I'm immediately taken back to that moment when they were pulled out of my ears again. And then I spent 10 minutes looking. Look, guys, it's a small area where this happened. It's not like they clearly disintegrated. Okay, so I don't want any back talk on that. They disintegrated. That's it, and that's all. Boy, that's yummy. So anyway, I'm going to need your help with that 100 people. So I'm going to keep you abreast of the situation. I hope I hope by saying that I didn't have to change the rating of this show. Oh, I meant to. In the background, I'm going to play this. This is just an original piece of music that I happen to have on my iPad, and I thought I'll just play it randomly at some point and then talk over it, and I'll try to say something that's appropriate for the music. So let me change gears here. Ever since I started playing the ukulele, I used to dream of large audiences cheering and saying, "Way to go, Bob. I love the way you do that." Oh, it's not for me. It's not for my ego. It's for the art of the ukulele. I just like seeing other people appreciate it just like I do. But that dream has yet to come to fruition, and it's been 6 years since I first picked up the ukulele, and now through this 30-day challenge, I'm hoping that the universe will somehow provide my dream of reaching not 5, not 13, not even 22 people at once, but in fact 100 people, all gathered to listen to a short set played on the ukulele. The instrument which should probably be providing the musical background to what I'm saying right now instead of some sort of dreamy, weird, echoey piano. But it was handy. It was on the iPad, and it's what I chose. The end. Okay. Uh-oh. Guess what? I have this control panel on my iPad. And right now I'm looking at where, the music mixer is. That little piece, by the way, was called The String. Why did I call it The String? I don't know, you guys. Sometimes you go to save something and it says save file as, and there it is. It says untitled, and you just don't want to do untitled. And I don't know, maybe I saw a piece of string on my desk and I typed it, and so it's called The String. I'm sure when you heard that music, you weren't listening and going, God, why do I want string right now? Why am I thinking so much about string? This song so reminds me of string. I hear this and I'm just taken back to when I was like 3 years old and there was a string everywhere. Oh, what a crazy string-filled time that was. And that sound, that music, that was very string to me. Thank you for playing it. Thank you for taking me back. I can almost smell the string. Anyway, so I'm looking at this. And then over here on the other side, we have the sound effects buttons that absolutely have no volume control whatsoever. It's just one volume, which is freaking loud. Wow, that's just so... whatever. But above that, there are two tabs. One tab says Effects. The other tab says, and that is the tab that I have selected. And that's why I could play those sound effects just now. However, the other tab, well, it says Chat. Now, when you do the show on Spreaker the way I'm doing it, if it just says chat there and there's not a little dot beside it, that means no one's talking to you, Bob. No one's listening. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. You should just keep walking off the edge of the planet. That's basically what it means if there's no dot there. But if there is a little yellow dot, well, that means that somebody popped in and said something. Now, it doesn't mean it's a nice thing. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's dawn. But I'm going to have to say that when I click that chat tab to see who is there live, the odds are in my favor if it has CBD in the username. So I'm going to do that now. Now, is there some sort of mystery music? And now, Bob will now find out who's in the chat room by clicking the tab in 3, 2, 1. And CBD Talk Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I'm listening. What? He's alive. I nailed it. But guys, was it really that hard? But see, the thing is, Don, what you missed is that I've discovered that you're not alone out there. Oh, no. There are other people listening to this podcast and downloading it, no less. Are you downloading it or are you just listening to it? How committed are you? Are you subscribed on iTunes or do you just come down here on Spreaker? Because if you're not archiving these shows on your phone, well then, are you really a fan? Of course you are. What? That's loud. And that is also loud. Why can't they give me volume for the effects? This app has been out for, 3 years or more. No one has said, wow, Spreaker, the effects are super loud. Is there no way to change that? Or maybe they have. Maybe there's been hundreds, perhaps thousands of people like me. And for whatever reason, when Spreaker created their company, they got together in a room and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to leave out this one obvious feature. It's going to be super annoying, and people, of course, are going to complain. They're going to complain and suggest. And we're just going to not address it. We're just not going to address it. We're not going to say we can't do it. We're just going to pretend like we never got the emails. Now, of course, I'm saying all that is completely unfair. I love the Spreaker platform, but I do wish that I could freaking control the volume of the effects. And for that matter, let's just you know what, Spreaker, if you're listening, and you should be, because this is the Bob Doyle Show, and it's really, really great. No one's using these sound effects. They're cheesy, right? No one's using these. You know what would be helpful? Hold on a second. If it was easier to add my own effects. It says music library, which means I have to go into iTunes and I guess sync all of my sound effects so that then they're in my iTunes library, and then I can maybe do them. But the problem is I can only just add one more effect. Is that right? Yeah. So here's my suggestion. Lose all these effects and just let me add my own so I can have my own little cart machine. I think that's the ideal scenario. Now, this music that you're listening to is what I just added into this effect. This is more original Bob Doyle music, but I have no ability to control the volume because it is an effect. What happens if I push this button? Microphone equalizer. Nope. Nope. There's just me if I do this. Nope. 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 So there's just no way. So I just have to stop. All right. So I see now that Dawn has written more. See, I immediately went back to the effects. So let's see what Dawn has to say. She subscribed. Truly LOLing right now. Well, you know, we aim to please. Do we? Actually, we just aimed at... I was going to say we just aimed to fill 30 minutes, and I've just seen that I have not only filled 30 minutes, but 31 minutes and 58, 59, 62, 63 seconds. 32 minutes and 7 seconds of the Bob Doyle podcast, which, come to find out, has this whole little pod of anonymous listeners, subscribers, and downloaders who are not leaving comments or coming by the Facebook page and saying, hey man, love your audio podcast, or at least I download it, ... haha, JK, LOL. But you should do that if you're listening. Come by Facebook.com/Bob Doyle Show. This show that is being sung about right now. It's the Bob Doyle Show. Anyway, I love and adore each and every one of you, and can't wait to be back again. But I will.